You may have heard about Navajo tacos. Those are fantastic. If you haven't had a Navajo taco, or I guess fry bread, if you haven't had fry bread that's actually made by Native American or Navajo, I don't consider that real fry bread, real Navajo tacos, because they just make it so perfectly. So if you don't know what a Navajo taco is, it's basically like this large circle of fried dough, and you put the chili or the beans and the lettuce and cheese, tomatoes, and sour cream on top of it. And so you eat it with a fork and everything. It's fantastic. And of course, with fry bread, you can even have like honey butter on it, cinnamon, or just like sprinkle some salt and eat it. You could have it for breakfast or lunch or dinner, really, the fry bread. But yeah, as far as food goes, I didn't have a lot of weird food on my mission. I had some mutton, not much. But yeah, I have never really had Navajo tacos quite like they had out there made by the Navajos. So I've tried making fried bread myself, just hasn't been as successful. But yeah, and also with other interactions I've had with the Navajo people. So when I was out in those desert areas, there were a couple of times when we'd be visiting a family, trying to see what we can do to help them, always looking for service opportunities. And they'd say, hey, can you help, herd our sheep back over here? And I'd be like, sure. So I remember one or two times at least, I'd go out, like walking out in the canyon with like a couple of members of the family, my companion and I, we'd see the herd of sheep and we'd walk around behind them and try to, coax them back towards their little corral space, makeshift kind of corral made of gates tied together and stuff. I helped shear sheep before. That was a very challenging task as well. So trying to hold the sheep down while my companion was like, shearing the thick wool, and the sheep wouldn't cooperate and stuff like that. So lots of it. So I had a few interesting things like that. Or there's also, several ranchers out there and hunters out there. So I remember one time when a cattle rancher asked my companion and I to help them, sort the cows out so they can give the cows their annual shots or something like that. And so, just kind of running around with other ranchers with cows or with sheep, or as the Navajos say, sheeps. They pluralize some words. They say woods, monies, sheeps. A very common service project would be chopping woods for people. That was actually a very successful thing to do as far as, opening doors. There were several times when my companion and I would be walking down and we'd see a guy like chopping some woods, and we'd offer to help, and they'd say, yeah, sure. So we chop woods for them, and they're always very grateful for that, because out on the reservation they live often with wood stoves, often in just like cheap trailers and like hogans, which is a round house made of brick or sometimes wood. So lots of opportunities to just be friendly and to help people out, and that has always provided opportunities to get to know people and to get in the house and like share the message of the gospel. So with all the interesting and I guess to me it was lots of weird kind of different things. I'm not used to like farming or ranching or chopping woods or things like that, but I'm definitely grateful for all those opportunities and for all those times that I was able to give that service, that physical, that temporal service, which led to spiritual service, teaching, and everything. So
awesome.